Well then, hello everyone. I've made it. Yup, in the nick of time, I have made it. Shadowbringers is now complete. I'm ready for Endwalker, and it's time to talk about the end of Shadowbringers because, yeah, you know, I said that the ending of 5.0 is like, oh shit, this is peak video games. To which, pretty much everybody said, but wait until 5.3. I didn't wait that long, I went straight into it. And let me tell you, this whole patch experience for Shadowbringers has been quite fantastic. It's left me this funny little place where I really want to go back to the first, but I sort of know I don't really have a reason to. There's actually quite a lot to talk about here. There's some moments that I really loved. A fairly big thing that I think I left out of my main Shadowbringers video, and just a lot to share, especially now that, well, it's time to go into Endwalker, and I definitely have some thoughts about that. Speaking of things I have thoughts about, very smooth segue, video games. We're also a game development studio. The Pale Beyond is our first game. It is a narrative RPG. It's being published by fellow travelers, so just, you know, you can hit it up in Steam and wishlist it. We'd certainly appreciate that. Helps us out a whole bunch. And hey, what a time to be in production for a game when, you know, what's going on? FF14, and we're all looking at what they're doing and, you know, having a great time. So, it's all very fun. With that said, though, let's talk about Shadowbringers. Okay, so initially things do, of course, start a little bit more slowly with 5.1 and 5.2. You're kind of just helping out the locals, rebuilding the first and all of that, while, you know, Ardbert returns. Yeah. Ardbert, of course, it's bloody Elidibus again. What a dickhead. But it's actually really interesting how we deal with Elidibus. I almost don't want to jump ahead, so Elidibus, we'll deal with him in a sec. He's a very interesting fellow. But I've got to say, I really liked just the character stuff, the world building, going around, especially building up Yulmore, right? You know, all of that. Really just, you know, get your man to be the mayor. His wife, again, being fantastic, almost killing him. She loves Alphino. We all love Alphino. But all that stuff with Yulmore is just really nice. I've continually just so loved how they've dealt with Yulmore. You know, how they've really... you know, maybe it's just an aspirational thing, the way that storyline ends up going, and it's just it's a sort of situation we'd all like to believe it would go down like that. Hopefully it's not too idealistic to think, but I just really liked it. I liked that character work, and as you go around, you know, you go back to the Forest of Lehi, you're having a great time there with the Buns, and of course, the Blessed. He really likes Y'shtola, doesn't he? Your man Runar? Yeah, our big Swede cat. I just really like the peoples of the first. I guess it's going to be weird not really seeing loads of those characters, especially everybody's favorite Icelandic Bun, because you know, a bit when she says goodbye at the end of 5.3, I think that gets a few people. So I really liked all of that, but of course, what you've really got going on is Elidibus, right? He's scheming, plotting. And the continued exploration, of course, of Zodiark and Hydaelyn takes place through all of this. And it's just a really nice way of developing that lore in a way that is extremely driven by your character's action and experience, right? And that makes it feel grounded, even though in a way it's taking a soft magic system and slightly hardening it by giving us those, you know, more like root explanations, right? Like the Elder Primals. So that's all been very interesting stuff to have going on. Of course, I think what matters a bit more, though, is how we're dealing with all of this experientially. And it's just great. I mean, tell you what, that Bismarck dungeon, and just as an aside, Bismarck, I love how they dealt with Bismarck. The sound design, the writing, you know, him kind of having his memories of his friend. All just really, you know, just really nice, I suppose. And then as things really do start to kick off, though, right? With, you know, you're in Amarot doing that big, long duty with Elidibus. You're getting to know him a little bit more. I just think they did a really good job with him and a villain. Him and Emmett Selch both. And broadly speaking, the way that they have handled the Ancient One lore is really fantastic here. And it's kind of funny. We see progenitor races so much in media. I mean, I like Stargate. Of course, you know, the Ancients, Atlantis, etc. You know, even Halo and the Forerunners. And it's countless, you know, sci-fi and fantasy worlds have progenitor races and, you know, the likes. I just thought the way that they did it was excellent. The Ascians for so long have just ended up being this, you know, oh, we're going to come in, we're going to sow some chaos, and yeah, you know, we have some big overarching plan with Lord Zodiark, but you don't really know what it is. The way that they advance that and develop that, and then actually go in and flesh out those characters, that's just, well, you know, it's just making good villains, right? Villains who truly are the heroes of their own story, and doing so in a way that lets them really just flex the quality of their world design, right? The quality of their world design, the quality of their lore, the quality of their sound work too. I love the ancient voices. Those are just, they're really cool. Of course, you know, that bit in 5.3 where Emmett Selch's friend kind of comes back to you, gives you like the final little, you know, like the little memory crystals. Just all of that stuff. It's just really damn strong. So I found that to be just a really like immersive and enjoyable experience. Then of course, right after that, you know, you're into the big Gambit, right? Dungeon where all of these, it's not literally heroes being called in from other worlds. It's the bits that Elidibus needs, you know, to be able to summon them in, right? They're kind of their righteous fury, their willingness to be warriors of light. You know, they're coming in. I think you get some really great spectacles in that dungeon. And what a treat of a dungeon, as you basically are, I mean, you're just going around all of this world that you've got to know and love. Then even just that little nice scene with Lena and Garaha, it's just, it's really, all the character work's so strong in 5.3, isn't it? I mean, it's so strong in general through all of this. But then, man, that Warrior of Light fight, or just the whole friggin' situation. You're going up the Crystal Tower, and the spectacle is there, the art direction is there. And as far as villain showdowns go, I mean, between Emmett Selch and Elidibus, what brilliant showdowns. They've got the speeches, they've got the dialogue, they've got the spectacle. It's everything that you want from a big video game villain. And then, of course, what I like a lot more properly is at the end of every fight, there is a proper, emotionally resonant send-off to those two villain characters that, you know, does respect how they are the heroes of their own stories. How they are actually, you know, real beings with a goal and agency. Yes, in this case, they, you know, are responsible for a lot of bad shit. Definitely good that they're gone, but they were just handled quite well. And you know, broadly with FF14, one of the things that I really enjoy the most is that feeling of epilogue. So, you know, afterwards, you're just doing the rounds, saying goodbye to everybody. Y'shtola's getting picked up. You know, Alphino's almost getting hugged to death. And then, of course, the very, very final parting scene, which, it's just a really strong scene, isn't it? And as you kind of go to leave the first, you kind of think, shit, you know, when am I going to be back? I miss this place. I miss these people, you know? Where will we get our Icelandic bunnies? That's the big question. Where? Who knows? Hopefully more. But yeah, just that sense of leaving a place that you came to know, you really feel it. And I guess that is a absolute testament to just how well they established that world. And for them to have established that, I mean, okay, technically that world was established in 3.4, but basically, you know, establish it, carry it through the whole course, and have you just care about it so much. I mean, part of it is that Shadowbringers is chunky. Right? Shadowbringers is chunky. My patch MSQ clocked in at like 18 hours. Of course, MSQ itself way more than that. So I suppose they really did just make enough bloody video game to really get you in that place. But of course then, you know, you return. Simons wake up. You get the best scene ever with Garaha's ears just, popping up. And honestly, him just being completely adorable around your character, kind of fanboying out. He's great. He's great. He's such a great addition to the crew. I'm very happy. Very happy that he's now a Scion and will be with us in Endwalker. Same goes for Estinian, actually. It's very good to have Estinian finally be able to settle down with us a bit. And just, moments too. I have a feeling that, I think the strongest moment overall, and it's hard to just pick one, I think it's got to be Seto, right? It's got to be Ardbert and Seto. Because that was a really, not just well written, but the voice acting, was so strong. That's just one of those moments you kind of, if you're like me, you just kind of feel it deep in your chest. You're like, oh, this is a big moment. Garaha's ears perking up. That was just kind of adorable. That farewell, the big farewell scene at the end, and then how just the sheer spectacle, of it with 5-3. And then, of course, what's really neat is it doesn't stop, does it? Because, we're back. There's things to do. Now, I will admit, patch 5.4, it's that funny thing where it's following plot threads really well. It can feel like a little bit of a snap because you're like, whoa, I was just fighting Elidibus and, I was in the now I'm actually just back at home, doing pirate things. So there's a little bit of, that can be a little bit jarring. But certainly the Master Matoya dungeon, that was really fun. I actually do quite like that overall storyline, and the final duty was really neat as well, of patch 5.4. But of course, we're obviously all kicks into gears 5.5 and 5.56. Man, another great dungeon, and something I haven't really mentioned much, and I think it started off with the burn, certainly there in Gimlet Dark. The dynamic elements of set dressing in these dungeons. Dynamic's not the word. But just the amount of set dressing that's moving, that makes you feel like you're really going through an inhabited place. I've really noticed that increase in FF14 to the point where you do some of these dungeons and they do just feel like a big immersive battlefield, So I thought that, that big battle between you and the Beast Tribes, you with the Beast Tribes, against new Guardians, and we need to talk about them. It was just a really, really sweet dungeon. So, man, this is the dungeon content has been absolutely fantastic thus far. Another thing too is the Beast Tribes. It actually felt really satisfying to be at that war table and all the Beast Tribes to come in and everyone's working together. It felt like such a meaningful progression from where we started. So I really appreciated that. And I suppose before I talk about the final duty, definitely we have to talk about Zenos and our boy Daniel. Now, I am very much assuming, with Endwalker being the end of the Zodiarch Hydaelyn tale, that Big Dan maybe has a little bit more than just, we're nihilists, let's kill everything. I've got to imagine there's going to be more aspects at play. Maybe he won't be the most important character. I think Zenos will be a decently important character. And it's that thing with Zenos where he's really powerful, he's really fun to have around. I will say Zenos goes on like Zenos, right? And Zenos has just acted like Zenos for a decent while. I want to see some character progression in Zenos. Because right now, he basically just wants to fight you, and big nihilist, doesn't really care about the world burning as he moves towards his goal. But I do want to see more work be done with him. Right now, I'm at that stage with Zenos where, I don't consider him to be a well-rounded character, like, say, maybe an Emmett Selch or something was. So I'm waiting for the next expansion to really give us a lot more of Zenos. I do enjoy Zenos, though. That's the thing. He's a very enjoyable guy to have around. But, for the sort of character side, the emotional side, I just want to see a little bit more to him. And, I very much doubt that the plot of Endwalker is going to be, they just want to bring the end days and blow the whole thing up because, we'll do it for the memes, you'll have a good fight, and hey, we're all a bunch of nihilists, so let's blow the whole thing up, and, whatever. I think there's going to be quite a lot more going on, and certainly there are hints that would very much suggest that, as well as some interesting parallels with other games in the FF franchise. So yeah, right now it's just this thing. They are, they're fun characters. I just want to see where they go. There's a little bit of me that's thinking like, all right, well, I get why Emperor Varus is dead now. But right now, the Guardians are essentially just a puppet state for, just a bunch of lads having some bant. Some bants between them, between Zenos and Fandaniel. So, where's it going to go, right? What about the, was it uncle? Was it Zenos' uncle? The other guy who's making a claim for the throne? What's the level of Guardian infighting like? Or is it really just going to be the case that, the Guardians are all just going to be enthralled by these, crazy new weird tower things that we've got to suck all of the, ether and, summon all of these lunar primals. And on that, by the way, lunar primals this is really cool. Really cool. And there's so many bits, it's so easy to miss them. Like, you go and you save Tiamat from Azizlai, right? You get her back. Now Estinian's riding around on Tiamat in that big dungeon. Really cool. All really cool. So we're in this fun situation where I think the stage is really well set for all of these things to be developed in, just develop in a neat manner. So we'll need to see where it all goes. I definitely want to talk about the Judy, though. Man, that final Judy in 5.56, what the hell, it was so good. Now, I will confess to it being extremely early in the morning / late at night, whatever, and, dying a few times because of being stupid. But I thought it was really fun. I liked how they put you into a healing role a few times. That's actually literally the first time I've healed in FF14. But broadly speaking, it's just really neat how they do the roleplay duties. Not only do you get like a tiny little sample of the flavor of another job, but it's just playing that stuff through gameplay. And one that I really didn't give enough praise actually was the Thancred Ranjit one. Because, what Thancred's doing, the riskiness of his plan is communicated to the player via the game mechanics, right? So that's what really elevated that one to being fantastic, even though it was simple. It was overall great. As for this one in 5.56, I mean, man, it's got the theme, it's got the story, it's got the characters, it's got the spectacle, and it actually does have the gameplay. Each little gameplay segment does feel a little bit different. And to me, at least, it was novel, hopping around the different scions, trying them out. I mean, yeah, just cool, right? Just cool. What a great bit of content. Alphino and Alizé's dad's a real twat and he needs a slap. What a dickhead. I know that's slightly jumping on, but not happened before, but what a dickhead. Of course, we all kind of knew he was a dickhead from the cinematic, but yeah. I look forward to, in 28 hours, giving that man a slap. Hopefully it's going to happen. Then as for how we leave things, of course, Hydaelyn just drops in. What's she about? What was her original purpose? What was she all imbued with? All this convocation stuff? How does the Warrior of Light fit into all this? Are we a little bit too pro Hydaelyn? What's really going on? I mean, Hydaelyn's kind of purpose initially was to, give the big bosh to Zodiark, right? So there's going to be some very fundamental things imbued within her. And it's not like we've had big conversations with Hydaelyn, because when Minfilia was there as the Oracle, I mean, there's still a lot of Minfilia there, we'd thought, right? So I'm very interested to see where it goes. And of course, all of this, the moon's changing color. Also a neat little sound effect they played in and around when they showed the moon that maybe makes you think, okay, there's shit going on in the moon. That'll be really cool. And of course, we did see Elidibus walk about the moon, didn't we? Or was it Elidibus? Whatever. I think it was the end of 5.0? Honestly, some of it blurs together a little bit for me because, it's... I've been, channeling the Sakaguchi powers, so to speak. But why was he in the moon? So, I'm sure these are all things that Matt answered or talked about in his Endwalker speculation video, by the way, which you should totally watch after this one, because while I don't know everything in the video because he didn't let me in any of it, because obviously it would have been spoilers to me, and I haven't got a chance to watch it yet, I have a feeling, though, that at least based on what I'm thinking and feeling about the game right now, that's probably a video for me to watch, so be interesting to do that. One other thing, too, I wanted to talk about is just production quality. Production values, what they're able to pull off in their in-game cutscenes is just so much better. It's so good. Even some little micro expressions, they're using the camera really quite well now. The pouring of the tea. I mean, hey, pouring liquids from a kettle into a cup. That's been a challenge that video games have struggled with for a long, long time, and they did a pretty good job for an MMO. Oh, man. So, basically, I mean, wow, I feel like time doesn't exist for me anymore. Because I've played a lot of video game over the last few days. But it's just been such an immersive experience. Fantastic. Bloody fantastic. And that has me very excited to take a little bit of a breather for 24 hours. A little bit of a chill. And then hop into Endwalker because, god damn it, we got to see where this shit goes. What's going to happen? Better not hurt the twins. Better not hurt the twins. No, they signposted the twins dying so hard in the little trailer, the gameplay trailer they did recently, that I feel like they won't go. And I think as well Matt's video might have something to say about that topic too. But man, Endwalker, I mean, I'm going to need the next 24 hours to digest everything, to ruminate over it, and oh boy. Yeah, up bright and early. For us, it's 9 a.m. So it just means, don't have to... I would, in any other circumstances, say, it's great, you don't have to ruin your sleep schedule. It's 6:30 in the morning, so I need to fix my sleep schedule. And then, 9 a.m. Friday, we're going to get going, and oh my god, it's going to be fun. All right, that's it. Bloody hell, well done, Creative Business Unit 3. You make a mighty video game. So that's it for me. All right. Closing promo. Want to wishlist our game in Steam? We'd appreciate it. It would help us out. So if you're interested, give it a look. There's a trailer. There's a big old video I did with Thomas and some other things. And you'll meet Thomas as well, a co-director, co-founder in the game side of things. And then, of course, if you want a bit more FF14, there is Matt's video that went up yesterday that is all about Endwalker. I think you'll really enjoy it. So that's it for me. I need to sleep. Need to recuperate and get ready for the big event. I am very excited and very tired. So good night. See you next time.